when you talked about proud accomplishments, right? What would be, if you were to talk about the, one of the most accomplished part in terms of your, current role? What were you able to achieve, and how you were able to overcome whatever the situations were? If you could, shed some light on it, that'll be great.
Sure, absolutely. So really, developing that vision and then bringing it to life in less than a year is really, an accomplishment that I'm very proud of. And the vision involved, building a foundation of data governance process and tools, and then addressing the regulatory priorities that were frontline for the IPO, and then pivoting into monetization. So building that foundation that would allow that smooth pivot into monetization after the IPO. So in 2018, I built a small team. We established partnerships with the business and technology, set priorities, and an important part is identifying the quick wins, right? We wanted to make sure that we were showing value very early on. And my goal always in this was to support the business agenda. My belief is that data governance is a business role. It's got to support that business agenda. You need to focus on what data is important for the business, right? Not boil the ocean with everything in giant catalogs that nobody can find anything. So focus on the business data and then work our way back into the physical assets and the lineage that support that business data. So we started with really a manual pilot program, if you can believe it. We collected definitions, business rules, calculations, ownership information, even diagram lineage, doing it all in PowerPoint, right? So after a few iterations of this exercise, I had what I called the thud effect, right? It was a big stack of paper of PowerPoint that really gave the business case, right, for investing in data governance tools and lineage tools so that we could better manage all this metadata and make it accessible in a business glossary accessible to all. So we conducted an RFP for the tools. Within 6 to 9 months, we had contracts signed, implementation, integration done between the systems, and a fully functioning operating model, including end-to-end lineage, which is really exciting, showing the capabilities tying critical business reports to those underlying physical assets. So again, lightning speed. 2019 was focused on regulatory priorities for the IPO, really governing our trading volumes, certifying reports that they're in compliance with regulation, fair disclosure, and enabling consistent metrics for quarterly earnings announcements. These are all things that the company never had to do prior to the IPO, so it was important we put governance around all of that. And then afterwards, towards the end of 2019 is when we had the pivot towards monetization. And that really began with, you had to start at the foundation. It began with breaking down silos within the organization to develop a firm-wide client reference hierarchy, give an enterprise level, client analysis view into that data. And then also putting governance around market data products, which is part of the revenue streams. Also being a part of the team in partnership with IT and the data scientists to develop that cloud implementation. So what's interesting in partnering with IT on this cloud implementation is that the cataloging that's coming out of the cloud tools from a container perspective and information security perspective is now starting to meet in the middle with our business priorities that we really focused on in the very beginning. So we focused on the reports, and it's really starting to come together in the middle so that we can get, a really expanded and full end-to-end perspective on the data. It's really expanding it all. So it's exciting, to see it all and be part of it coming together at that level.